How's it going, everybody? The Ground Rail fan here, and welcome back to another model review. Today, I'm going to be looking at a Bowser model. I'm going to be looking at Bowser's second run of the ALCO C415s. Now, this is the first time I've ever. This is not the first time I've had an ALCO C415. I had a Santa Fe one that was DC. That was like an old AHM model. But this is the first time that I've had an actual proper one, more detailed one from Bowser. And I kind of got this one as an impulse buy because I heard that certain road numbers are very hard to find right now. So I was like, I saw this in my local store and I was like, well, it's here. It's cheaper. I actually got it cheaper than what I would have otherwise gotten it online. So I went with this one, the Spokane, Portland, and Seattle, but it is BN patched. So instead of the original number, it's now a BN number, but it's still in Seattle, Spokane, SPNS colors. And so I very much appreciate that. This time around, the reason why I already have the model and I didn't do the unboxing for this one is because I am personally not a fan of the models being screwed in to the base, which this one was. I personally prefer just like the plastic cradle that you open up, like some other manufacturers do. So I would have had to unscrew the model anyways, off camera. So, and I already had this model out, ran it for a little bit after I purchased it, before doing this video. So just for the sake of, I might as well just do the video with the model already out. Okay, that being said, the detail on it is very nice. You got plenty of nice molded detail, sapphire pine handrails, the beacons both on the roof work. It's got multiple different lighting features, which will go in the functions, and then a nice amount of molded and separately applied details all around. So with that being said, let me apply track power and we'll go through the functions and lighting. One thing that I will note is that the volume has been turned up on the volume. It used to be quieter, and the way the beacons flash are different. So just bear that in mind if you're buying this particular model or SPNS one. And I think, let's type in its road number. Okay, hold on. You kind of got a sneak peek of all the lighting features right there. Could it turn right on? No, it says. No, it is F8. There it is. So in this particular version, the number boards light up. There's the front headlight right there, and it also has catwalk lights. Lovely little detail there. All right, I'm just gonna go through the functions here. F1, bell. F2, horn. And then F3, kind of already heard it earlier, a couple of clank. And the popping of the air hose. F4. Doesn't look like F4 does anything. Could be wrong. And then I think F5 is class lights. So this one's got 2 class lights on the front. You can see me turning them on and off here. And then F6, I think, is for the beacons. Oh no, F6 is for the cab light. It also has cab lighting. Man, this model has a lot of lighting features. I appreciate that though. And then F7 is the beacons. Okay, F7 is the beacons. So normally the beacons would not be flashing in this manner. Again, a friend of mine decided to change that, but I like what he did. So originally, when you turn on the beacons, depending on which direction you have the locomotive in, it would be one beacon flashing or a different beacon flashing, depending on which way, which direction you would have the locomotive set. In this case, he changed it to where it is flashing in the manner that you see right now, and it will stay that flashing like that regardless of which direction I set the locomotive. I want to say the SPNS ones, and I think the BN one is the only ones with the beacons. Every other one does not have the beacons, so that's a unique little road-specific feature that I like. And let's give it some juice. Again, it's another like really nice smooth runner. Yeah, there we go. Throw it in reverse. This thing also has momentum, so it will not stop on a dime, which I also appreciate that more realistic motion feature. And then I'll press F8 again for a shutdown sequence. Okay, real quick before I wrap up the review with a run by, I believe this is a lesser known locomotive, so I'll give a little bit of prototype background as far as this particular model is concerned. So the ALCO C415 was a small switcher, a large switcher or a small road switcher. Only 26 of these were produced between 1966 and 1968. Unfortunately, these locomotives were not very popular. I'm pretty sure it's maybe like another desperate attempt from ALCO to try to stay competitive in the market, because I can only assume that by this point that EMD has pretty much well established themselves, as well as General Electric, and I think this was towards the end of ALCO's years. But regardless, 7 railroads bought the 26 locomotives that were produced, including the SPNS like here. BN had some. I think those might have been from the SPNS. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. SP had a few, and then a couple of East Coast railroads do. As far as survivors is concerned, there was a short line railroad here in Washington that had one, which actually still exists. It's on display somewhere in the Seattle Tacoma area, and it's like bright yellow. There's also one in the Pennsylvania Railroad Museum that got preserved. There's also another one at the Burlington Junction Railroad. And then I think the demonstrator unit is apparently in Australia. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's an interesting diesel locomotive from ALCO. And with that being said, that will do it for this review. I will leave you guys with a run by. Bye. Take care. I'll catch you next time.